welcome back to Assorted Beefs, where I talk about anything I want to that doesn't fit into niche tea for any particular reason. I'm in an airport, so there will be some background noise. Things seem to very much just keep happening, so I figured I would talk about the Watcher situation here since it has somewhat concluded. Here's your George tax. I hope everyone is having a lovely, lovely week. So the Watcher Network, or just Watcher, is a YouTube channel that launched in 2020. It was launched by 3 creators who used to work for BuzzFeed, and they were well known for doing BuzzFeed Unsolved. People really liked them, so when they left and together decided to make their own network where they had more creative freedom and were able to do a little bit more of what they specifically wanted to do that they didn't feel they could do at BuzzFeed, a lot of people followed them. And the channel got well known for doing like a very high quality documentary style stuff around a bunch of different topics. It does seem like it's a mix of definitely mystery and potentially like horror, ghosts, spooky stuff, but also there's like food stuff. They also have kind of nerd focused podcasts. They've got a whole bunch of different types of content. And they had accumulated in just 4 years 3 million subscribers. That is a big deal. And 4 days ago, they put out a video very simply titled Goodbye YouTube. Something that's particularly funny to me about this situation is the fact that they've made almost every wrong possible decision as they went through this. And the first of that was titling it Goodbye YouTube, because the immediate implication is that they are just simply stopping creating. So people see this title and they're like, oh no, it's Mad Pat, it's Jenna Marbles. They're either retiring because they're sick of it, or they are moving on to do something else entirely, and this is the end of this YouTube chapter. So people are like, oh no, and that's how they're coming into the video. And the way the video starts like completely plays into this. There's very somber music. They sit down, they're like, hey guys, like we're about to have a breakup talk. They talk about their journey, they talk about their goals. Like it very much came off as we're ready to step away, and people were preparing themselves very likely for that message. But then they were told it's not that they're sick of creating or that they're quitting to do something else. They're specifically pulling their stuff off of YouTube so that they can go somewhere else, so that they can make more money. But not just make more money from you. They are removing their entire content library from the free ad-supported network where they have built a community of 3 million people to put it on a completely separate website that someone will have to go to separately and pay $6 a month for. So that's already whiplash. And then they go into the reasons why they want to do this or why this needs to happen. Because like maybe there's a reason this makes sense. Like they truly do have to do this. Like something's forcing their hand, or they literally aren't making enough money to live. No, they're just not making as much money as they'd like to make. The problem as they see it is that by it being an ad-supported source of revenue through YouTube that's free to consumers, they can make a lot of money, but they are a little bit more restricted in the type of content that they can make if they want it to be ad-supported. And that'll be on a video by video basis, but basically like certain videos won't make as much because they're not as advertiser friendly content wise. This doesn't mean they make no money, but it means they make less than they would like to for the quality of production that they want to make, and they have to make creative decisions they wouldn't necessarily choose on their own if they didn't have to for money driving purposes. And again, if this is affecting them enough that they wouldn't be able to make enough money to function, people would understand that, but it does not seem that that's what's happening. Rather, they feel they're not making enough money to do the high budget type of work that they want to do. So then the message that people ended up getting was, well, we had to choose between either bringing down our production quality, continuing to not do the exact type of thing that we want because of advertisers and stuff content-wise, or making you pay for it. And we chose this one. They then go on to talk about how it's only $6 a month for yet another streaming service that will only have one channel on it. This whole thing, top to bottom, was just fascinatingly bad. Some truly minimal market research would have told them that people are not in a position to add on another streaming service right now. There's very much fatigue about taking on these new services, and people are cutting left and right. This was not the time to drop this particular thing. Plus the pain in the ass factor. I've got to have another app. I've got to go to another website for another set of content. On top of just the basic problem of trying to go from free to not free in general is a very hard leap to make. The play for YouTubers is usually to have your regular library of free stuff that everyone can access. And on top of that, either have like a member function for people who want to support the channel monetarily directly through YouTube, or a Patreon separately where you release either different or early stuff for additional donations. And they already have a Patreon, it turns out. Why did you do this? It ends up coming off just completely greedy and tone deaf. So yeah, anyway, everyone was really mad and they got a ton of backlash. In addition to people freaking out, they have lost over 100,000 subscribers in the last 4 days alone. And then, not at all surprisingly, 23 hours ago, they posted a "we messed up," which is basically them saying, okay, sorry, please don't leave, and that they're going to keep their content on YouTube for people to access. But if people would like to get their content early and support them, the Watcher Network will be there for that, and the content will show up 1 month earlier on the Watcher Network website for those who do choose to support them monetarily directly that way. They've clearly put a lot of time and effort into building this website and moving all the content over and doing the whole thing, so I guess they can't abandon that fully. I still find the whole thing very confusing. I think Patreon would have been fine. Maybe they didn't want to work through Patreon because of fees and stuff. I'm not entirely sure. So good job. They got the message. We be the change.